it is my great pleasure to be here at Heirloom Books and be celebrating what is essentially the 20th anniversary year of the publication of my book, Thresholds. To talk a little about the text, in about 1992, I had the idea that I wanted to write a book set in the foreseeable future. And so I reasoned that the millennium would arrive and that we would survive it, Y2K notwithstanding. And so I started on the project and set the book first in Chicago, because this is where I've lived my entire life, and thought Chicago and the date that I selected, which was 1999, the December 31st, the millennium, didn't resonate. And so I tried New York City, and when I thought about New York, I said New Year's Eve, New York, Times Square, the ball will come down. I've seen that in many a motion picture, including Angel Heart, and so that didn't resonate for me. And then I tried other cities that I had visited. So I thought about London and I thought about Paris, and then when I thought Rome, suddenly all of the pieces began to come together, and I reasoned that that was the place, the capital of the ancient world, the place where the two-faced Janus looks backwards and forwards and has his temple, and the art director on the book attempted to replicate that in the author photo. It's hard to see in this edition, but I can always show you a better image. And so I began thinking about, okay, how many patterns can I create around the millennium and the location in Rome? So I had a central character, Wayne, ending of things, also my middle name, Janus, that two-faced god, as an American businessman who is brought by his international corporation to attend their New Year's Eve celebration, goes alone, leaving his estranged girlfriend behind, which she's not too pleased about, tours the city of Rome, and eventually attends the New Year's Eve party with a young lady who he meets on that day, and then has to make a moral decision. That's kind of the pattern through the book. And then I also thought, well, I need a literary grounding, and a book set in the course of one single day. Many people, since I've been doing the Bloomsday readings now for almost 18 years, assume that it was Ulysses that I was thinking about, when in truth it was Mrs. Dalloway. And then the other literary reference that I used as a foundation throughout the book is this is kind of a modern day retelling of the patterns in Dante's Divine Comedy. And so my central character, Wayne Janus, at the midpoint in his life, wakes up in the morning, looks out at the city of Rome, starts to try and go on a tour but can't cross the busy traffic, and hails a cab, and his cab driver, you might guess, is named Virgil, and then they continue on a tour of Rome, including a visit to the catacombs, and then when they go to the Vatican, Virgil's license is restricted, so he can't drive his client across the street, and this causes my Wayne to encounter a young woman who he bumps into literally at, I was doing so well, at the, not the Colosseum, the Pantheon. And looking up at the Oculus, they bump into one another, and then they make the rest of the tour together. And that's my Beatrice character. So that was the general plan. And along the way, I tried to make it an interesting narrative, 12 chapters, 12 different stories intertwined, and some of them I'll give you some samples of now.